And I figure, so after we'll do a little centering and opening. If Arlene isn't here yet, I'll just shut the door after that, just so we feel like secure and safe. But we'll just take a moment. Oh, this is so lovely. So perhaps just kind of find your sits bones, move the flesh. Take a moment, maybe hands on your thighs or hands on your hips. Invite a little rocking of the torso front to back, and try to find where your shoulders can just settle over the hips. And sensing that tailbone root down, the sits bones nice and level. And sensing the shoulders, all the tension, all the shoulds and should nots that we're carrying just start to melt down. Maybe take a moment and just inhale, bring the shoulders up toward the ears. Exhale, roll the shoulders back and down. And if that feels good, feel free to do that a few times, especially if you're carrying a lot of tension there in the neck or the shoulders. You can close the eyes down if you haven't already, or just focus on one spot to begin to withdraw from all the excess outside stimulus, all the information that we're being bombarded with, and move your attention inward to knowing yourself, so you can come from a place of authenticity, moving from a place that's right for you. And just sensing your spine nice and tall, its natural curves, the crown reaching up toward the sky. You may just take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale through the nose, exhaling deeply. Maybe just taking a breath in for that sense of peace. Taking a breath out and sensing peace wash over you. Taking a breath in for that unconditional love that we can apply in toward ourselves, out to the world. And exhaling, sensing yourself just bathed in that unconditional love. Just take a few nice deep breaths just to settle into this practice. And as you're breathing, you can scan your body and just acknowledge, just note where you're beginning today. So as we move into this practice, you can move in a way that supports you, that doesn't have to force anything that your body's not ready for. Perhaps connecting with an intention for yourself. What's the reason that brought you here today? What is it that you need? So you can move from that place of knowing your intention. Also with that, perhaps just inviting a sense of joy of sharing a space together with fellow yogis once more. It's so lovely to see faces, not be looking at a screen and being like, I have no idea what's going on behind that screen. And I hope everyone's being safe. So just take a few moments to just land, to arrive. And as you're doing that, I'm going to just shut the door.
She's ringing the bell again with us.
What happened to your centering? I left the room for like 2 seconds. Oh my goodness. I know. Oh my goodness. invite that sense of movement with our breath. Let's inhale and just bring the shoulders up toward those ears. Exhale and let them just drop with gravity with that breath. Inhale, shrugging them up, maybe engaging that mula bandha. Do we remember what that is? The perineum is hug that in, squeeze the muscles of the face. Exhale, let everything soften. Just do that a few times, sensing that tensing of the muscles and then that relaxing a few times. Inhale, squeezing. Sometimes we learn how to relax by the opposite of ultra tensing. Inhale and exhale. One more time, breathing in and breathing out. Good. And then let's just bring our fingertips to our shoulders, start to warm up the shoulders here. And if you find like moving the arms in this way isn't supporting, feel free to just move the shoulders, not the elbows, but start to just kind of circle them, alternating directions, just acknowledging what range we're working with. If it's been a while, it's like we're the Tin Man, where that movement's like adding the little oil. Get the rust out. Oh, that's how I feel every morning. I get out of bed and I'm like, do my ankles work? I feel like I'm walking flat-footed to the toilet. Yeah. So yeah, just keep rolling that. And as you're rolling the shoulders, alternating directions, stamp into your feet, grow nice and tall through the spine. Engage that Mula Bandha, just slightly Uddiyana Bandha, that navel center. So we're sensing that support. And let's extend our arms. Let's roll out those wrists, get that Rice Krispies going. Listen to the snap, crackles, and pops. Nice deep breaths. Swimming your arms, and maybe just starting to feel the weight of your arms too. It's like, whew, there's some effort here to keep the arms lifted. So just breathe through that. Of course, honor and listen if you need to rest in any way. We'll just start to sense that warming quality through the chest, through the arms, through the wrists, the elbows. And let's inhale, bring the arms up with all the weight that they are. Reach through those fingertips and sense the weight of the arms just drop or sink those arm bones into the sockets. Take a nice deep breath in. And then press the palms away from your midline as you exhale. Stretch the fingers and then reach the fingers down all the way to the earth. And then let the arms relax for a moment and just, there's energy there. There's an aliveness in my arms. And then just take a nice deep breath in and a full breath out. And we're going to inhale, sweep those arms up and overhead. And as we exhale, we're going to rotate and twist to one direction, twisting from the navel center. Maybe open the arms about shoulder width height, or you can always bring them all the way down. And then inhale as we bring the arms up, bring yourself back to the center. Exhaling as we twist to the opposite side. Maybe your gaze starts to get involved, so you're turning your gaze over that back shoulder. Inhale, bringing everything back to front. Exhaling as we rotate. Inhaling as we lift. Exhaling. Good, finding that breath as we move. And this time as we inhale, come back through center, we'll pause there, reaching those arms up one more time, just lengthening through the fingers. Let the shoulders relax away from the ears, extend through the elbows. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale again, press the palms away as we just kind of comb out that space. And let's just stamp out our feet a little bit, get some blood to the toes. Perhaps if we remember the Charleston as well, get that crossing the hemispheres of our brains engaged, coordination, right, left hemispheres. Good. And then shake it out. Good. All right. So we're going to keep working with the chest and the arms a little bit, and then we're going to do some stuff for our legs and our hips today. I feel like I'm a little rusty getting back into teaching. It's like, oh, gotta find my rhythm again. It's so difficult. So I'll just take baby steps in this. I'll just move nice and slow. Yeah. We remember what our rights and lefts are at this point. Like, All right, so sitting up nice and tall. This is going to be kind of a fun one, maybe a little bit of a brain teaser, but we'll try it. So you're going to bring the backs of the palms together and try to connect the forearms here. And then you're going to rotate the palms together and then bring the elbows up as long as you can without them parting. And then once they part, just let them part as you keep bringing the arms up, and then press the palms away and then roll them down. So then again, backs of the palms connect, backs of the forearms, and then roll the insides, the palms, keep reaching up. And exhale. Remember, we're breathing, and if we like, we can layer on that smile asana because we're like, what? There's a lot of different details in that. Yeah, so it's good. This is extra coffee for our brain. So just kind of stay focused on that pattern of movement, the breath, and the sensations that you're experiencing as you commit to this exercise. Again, maybe the eyes close down once you feel comfortable enough. Do you trust enough what your body is doing? Don't get overly worried about it if it's doing something a little bit different than what I'm doing. It's all good. And next time we come up, we're going to part the palms and then dive the heart, maybe about halfway. Hands can come onto the thighs. Keep your spine nice and extended. And then inhale, bring yourself up, sweep the palms down, up and overhead, reversing that direction. Palms come together and come at the heart. And then we're going to open the elbows nice and wide, open our chest, lift our gaze. And as we exhale, we're going to wrap the arms over the chest, give ourselves a hug, chin to chest. Let the shoulders relax away from the ears. Let the head hang heavy here for a moment. Good. And then we're going to think about trying to keep the palms in contact with the arms for as long as possible as we lift the elbows up toward the sky. Let the arms kind of work their way down toward the elbows, work toward your wrists, like you're peeling off a layer. And reaching all the way up. Inhale, exhale as the arms come down. We'll start that whole thing again. So backs of the palms come together. Then the forearms, then the palms. Arms reach up. And as we exhale, just dive our hearts forward like we're swan diving for wherever we want to go. Maybe we take it a little further if we're ready, if we feel like we can release the head around the heart. If that doesn't support our back, keep the spine nice and extended, the head lifted. Stamp into those feet, engage that Mula Bandha. Inhale, reverse the direction. Bring the palms all the way wide, up and overhead, palms to heart center. And then inhale, open the elbows into that goalpost, framing the face, squeezing the back of the heart with the scapula, lifting your gaze. Beautiful. Inhale. Now, if you remember, opposite the elbow on top this time, giving yourself a hug. Chin to chest. If not, doesn't matter. And then just let the shoulders relax. Take a few deep breaths. Try to release the tension in the back of the neck. Let the head just kind of be supported, chin to chest. Let the head hang heavy. Maybe take a moment here to reconnect into that Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. So you're still supporting the spine here. And then when you're ready, start to peel off the layers. Start to lift the elbows. Let the arms sweep down the arms all the way, and like you're kind of flicking off the mud or something, like let it release at the end. Get the dirt off. And then we're going to inhale. Yeah. And then let's bring the backs of the palms together. Again, bring the arms up. And then if you like this time, open your feet a little bit wider. And as we exhale, swan dive forward and bring your hands to your thighs, your knees. So maybe just open those legs nice and wide. And we're going to inhale, lift our heart, kind of hinge forward slightly. And as we exhale, roll your right shoulder down and then look up over your left shoulder. Or it doesn't matter which side, just do that one side. Inhale as you come through center. Exhale, reversing the direction. And I like to imagine here that like my spine, my shoulders are sort of like a wet towel. I'm kind of wringing out. So just move with your breath. We'll do a few rounds. Inhale. And make sure your feet are pressing down. Those inner thighs are supporting the knees opening over the second and third toe. Nice strong legs. Nice deep breath. And smile asana on top of all the things. Try to breathe and move. Breathing is most important. Keep breathing. Let's just do another set here. If you're ready, if you need to stop sooner, honor that as well. And then inhale your way back to center, and then bring those legs gently back into that parallel position, hip width distance. And we'll just take an inhale, shrug those shoulders up one more time, scrunch everything in nice and tight, and exhale, let everything relax. Good. One more thing for our shoulders. We're going to bring our arms out, and we're going to play with that kind of one shoulder before, one shoulder back. So like a really slowed down shimmy. And then as we do that, we rotate through the fingertips as well. So it starts at the shoulder, it kind of continues to spiral down into the fingertips like we're turning giant doorknobs. We're doing a special dance here. Good. Just a few more. And before kind of working into the neck and the head, I like to work the shoulders first because that helps to warm up all those muscles kind of needed to get into our necks as well. We have that kind of neck stiffness. So let's just take a moment, reach those arms up. Yes, we're feeling that aliveness, we're feeling the weight, we're honoring that, we're breathing, reaching even wider. Take a nice deep breath in. And as we exhale, let the arms slowly, slowly float down. Whew, beautiful. And then from here, we're just going to allow the chin to fold toward the chest. And then just gently roll your right ear over toward your right shoulder. And we'll pause here for a moment, just letting the weight of the head just kind of tilt to that right side. Try not to bring that right shoulder up toward the ear, but allow it to relax. If you feel like you can go a little deeper here, you can also take that right arm, just let it overlap, hold the head, reaching for the left ear. You don't have to pull, just let the weight of the arm do the work. And you can also reach that left arm in a sort of a diagonal down toward the floor if you feel like there's a little more room for a stretch. And just take a nice deep breath in, filling up all the way. And as we exhale, we can let the arms relax back to neutral, roll the chin nice and slow back toward the chest. And then slowly moving the left ear over to that left side. And again, just pausing here, just noticing the sensation. If you feel it's right for you to take that left arm, let it overlap the head. You can go into that next phase. And also if you feel it's right for you to reach that right arm in that diagonal, feel free. Just taking a pause here to breathe, to sense and feel. And then from this place, we'll release our arms and gently, gently roll the chin back toward the chest. We're going to interlock our fingers, bring them behind the back of the skull. And then we're going to inhale, press the back of the skull into the palms, let the elbows widen, lifting our gaze, and just hang out. It's getting towards summertime, like we're in our lazy hammocks. Hopefully the caterpillars aren't dropping on us all at once, or their droppings aren't dropping on us. And we're just enjoying the shade of a tree on a nice warm day, letting your heart just open up to this experience. Take a nice deep breath in. And as we exhale, gently bringing our head back to a nice upright, neutral place, letting the hands relax once more down by your sides. Lovely. So we're going to get our cores a little more involved here. So we're going to just, again, rock the torso a little bit front to back and just kind of notice when you're slightly back of your sits bones or shoulders are slightly back of your hips, that little bit of extra abdominal engagement that needs to happen. And you're going to just pause in that spot. And then we're going to maybe just lift the toes. Maybe we'll just pause here. Maybe it's been a while to try our chair boats. And we may try lifting one leg, and then we might just alternate as we breathe. We might feel like, I'm going to test, and I'm going to see if I can lift both legs. We might use our chair as a way to push. Again, we're getting back on that bicycle, step by step, see what's here. Just honoring that. Beautiful. And then take another breath wherever you are. Breathe. We're breathing. You're breathing. And then we're going to come back down. Beautiful. And let's open up those legs nice and wide once more, because sometimes it gets that so the psoas get a little tight from that. So just let them kind of open up and stretch for a moment. We're just going to do some lateral side bends for a moment to continue to open up in the torso, the shoulders, and the hips. So we're going to inhale, bring our arms out about shoulder width. Height, if you like, you can always bring them a little higher. And then we're going to lower the right elbow down to the right thigh as you stretch up and over to that right side. And then inhale, bring yourself back up. And exhale, moving over to the opposite side. Beautiful. Inhale as you come up. Exhale, try not to allow the shoulder that you're kind of leaning into get up toward the ear. So make sure you're kind of pressing down as much as you're reaching up and over. And if you find that it's in your practice in your body today to try to reach past your knee, maybe down toward your block or the floor, feel free to try that. If that's like too much of a reach, then keep the elbow on the knee. Nice deep breaths. And just do one more. Good. Preparing for our cartwheels. And then we'll come down. And then let's bring those legs back together. Yeah. We'll get there. We will get there. All right. So actually, let's just kind of put one block to this side. We're going to go into our warrior. So we're going to open up that left knee out to the side wall, or sort of the lateral side of your chair. And then kind of turn to face it. Now you can allow that, your right leg just to extend out. Like, again, when I say this is difficult getting back into this. No, yeah. The other leg. Yeah. I'm mirroring too, so it's even more confusing for my brain. Okay, so we're going to extend that opposite leg, either right out, kind of laterally in line with the hip, or you can step it back if you want to get a little deeper stretch in your psoas, so you're on the ball of the foot, the heel's lifted. So decide what's right for you and make sure you feel nice and stable and supported. Then think about that tailbone grounding down the front edge of the abdominals, hugging in and up. And then bringing the shoulders in line over the hips. Maybe your hands stay on your thighs. Maybe you reach one arm up and overhead, or both arms if you want to try hands-free. And just breathe where you are. Keep breathing. Good. And making sure you're sensing that stamping down into the feet, that scissoring in, that hugging into those inner thighs as the heart lifts from that sense of pushing down into the earth, into the mat. And take another breath here. If you like, you can stay as you are, or you can try taking that right hand for that left thigh and then twisting your torso toward your chair. And maybe you bring your hand to the back of the chair as support, but without using that as a way to torque your twist. So you're twisting from your abdominals. Maybe the hand's just there as like just a support. As we inhale, grow tall. Exhale, maybe turning your gaze even further over that left shoulder. Roll the shoulders back. Smile, breathe. Don't forget to breathe. And then we're going to inhale, bring our torso back slowly to face that left shin. And then start to swivel on our hips to bring those legs back to the front of our chairs. And then just kind of swivel the legs a little bit, rock them right to left. We'll do that on the other side, which will be your right leg in that 90-degree angle towards that side of your chair, so facing the new wall. Yeah. So rotating yourself to that new side, and again, that left leg can extend just right out from that trochanter side of your hip, or you can kind of reach it behind you, bringing your leg onto the ball mound of the foot, trying to lift that back thigh, reach the back heel. And again, do your best to square your hips, to root the tail, to engage the abdominals. Hands may remain on the thigh or extend up, maybe one or both. And just find that breath. Find that sense of press down into the feet, hug in through the inner thighs, lift up through the heart. Relax the shoulders, breathing, smile asana-ing, mula bandha-ing, uddiyana-ing. And then if you like, you might remain here, or you might take that left hand to that right thigh and then slowly start to twist from your abdominals, turning toward the back edge of your chair. Maybe your gaze continues over that right shoulder, or you can use also that right hand to support you on the chair. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale it as you twist into it just a bit deeper. And then use your next breath to slowly, slowly untwist your way all the way back to the front. And then we'll just take a moment, swivel those legs out. Okay, we're gonna do our stand-ups. So let's get those feet nice and rooted and maybe bring the heels in just a little bit so as you rock forward, you can get all your weight forward onto all sides or all surfaces of the feet. Spread the toes nice and wide. And remember, try to keep the natural curves of your spine nice and extended. And we can push off the chair, use our hands on our hips, our thighs. We can cross our arms if we want to challenge ourselves a little bit more, or swing the arms. So we're going to inhale and rise up, push down to rise. As we exhale, really think about that zipper. So hugging up through the pelvic floor as we lower those hips back to our chair, trusting the chair hasn't moved magically. And then we're going to inhale to rise and exhale slowly, mindfully lower. And maybe just check out your feet for a moment. Make sure they're about hip width distance. Make sure the knees are tracking over your second and third toe as you sit and as you rise. And we're breathing. We're just going to do about 5 more. Inhaling to rise. Find that zipper as we lower, exhaling to sit. And I trust you guys are counting because I have already forgotten. I think we have 2 more.
4.
This is 4? What? 1 more. Rise up and sit halfway down in our Utkatasana, our seated chair. So just check out your knees. Maybe bring your hands to your hips for a moment. Make sure that pelvis isn't swinging back too much or overly tucking. You want a nice kind of wide sacrum there. You can bring your arms parallel to the earth. You can open them up or bring them up and overhead, wherever you want to kind of express your arms in this moment. We're going to inhale, let that spine lengthen. Exhale, maybe sit just another inch or 2. Fierce pose. Sensing that heat, sensing that aliveness. Good. The heat helps to burn those impurities. So let's burn up and burn away. And then slowly rise. We're going to rise in 4 breaths. So try not to just lock into your knees and pop your way up, but really push down. Use your breath, inhaling and exhaling to slowly, slowly rise. Good, and then rising all the way up as you extend your legs. Maybe have a soft bend in the knees, just a slight bend in the back of the knees, not to lock into the knees. And then just sense your feet pressing down, maybe lifting the toes if you want to work on supporting the arches of your feet, that pelvic floor. And then we reach through the arms. Take a nice deep breath in, sensing yourself as tall as you can be. So as you get taller, you're also hugging in. So we're hugging in to grow tall. Inhale, remember those stretch Armstrongs. And exhale as we lower down. Just remember, those were such weird toys. Good, we could just kind of walk it out for a moment, shake it out. All right, we're going to do some things with the chair. So maybe just roll out our wrists for a little bit. You can interweave the fingers. We can make some waves. Waves, yeah, reverse the waves. All the good waves, right? Good waves. Ride the waves. Awesome. All right, so shake that out. And then, so we are going to turn to face our chairs. You guys can feel free to move your chairs if you want a better visual aid, or just listen. I'm going to pivot my chair a little bit just as a better, I know it's weird. Usually I move around the room a lot more, but now we're stationary. It's like, well, it's cool. It's just getting the new normal. Yes. You're being punished. No one's being punished.
The whole thing. I'm not talking about here. I'm talking about the whole thing. Oh, it's been awful. Think about it being stuck in all that time. I haven't had a funeral since March.
Wow. I know. Those poor families for people, yeah.
My
Yeah.
I will because I know all your family, but
Mhm.
he says no. He says I'm not taking a chance of anybody getting it.
Yeah.
But if somebody sees you do that, then they can have
Well, well, and he's worried about anybody getting affected, and
Right.
they've been doing videoing.
Oh.
Last weekend was the first.
In person?
No, last weekend was the first video at the gravesite. So we've been
Yeah.
really doing a great job.
Yeah.
Working together, and that it looks okay.
Right, right. Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's
though.
different.
Family's awful.
I know. Yeah. Thought that kind
That's what
of
that's
closeness and closure.
goes up to is that
Yeah.
type situation.
Mhm.
So sad.
And the graduates and
Oh yeah. I know.
kids in school and
I know, it's so weird.
heartbreaking yet.
Yep.
Yeah, very difficult.
So we'll move through that, like all that we're feeling, that grief of the death of what was, right?
Yeah.
There's many forms of death.
Old normal.
So let's bring our hands to the chair, and you can open your feet maybe a little bit wider than your hips, and grounding into the outer edge, the inner edge of the feet, moving the shoulders back. Keep the elbows nice and soft. And from here, you can maybe bend the knees a little bit deeper. So we inhale, lift our head and tail up toward the sky. So we're stretching our belly down toward the earth. And as we exhale, we can tuck our tail round our head, like you're dripping your tail in, crown toward the earth, arching your upper back. Inhaling as we lift into that cat stretch or cow stretch. Exhaling as we round into that cow. And if you have like herniated discs or anything, maybe just focus on that cow stretch of lifting the head and tail, and as you exhale, just moving to a nice neutral spine versus rounding. So just honor what your body's telling you would be supportive for today. And then we're going to bring ourselves back to that nice neutral spine. Maybe move your right hand to the center of the chair. And on our next inhale, we're going to sweep that left arm up. So we're just twisting, rotating, beautiful. Inhale, exhale, lower the arm down and switching sides. So then grounding into that left palm, right arm reaches up as we twist. And lowering that right hand down. So just finding your natural breath. If it makes more sense to exhale as you lift, honor that. Inhale as you lower, or vice versa. Try not to overthink it. Just keep breathing, most importantly. Breathing in and breathing out. Just finding that opening through the chest, the shoulders, that wringing out of the spine. And you're always welcome to like raise the seat too. So use blocks on the seat as well if it's a little too low of a bend there. And then we're going to bring our hands back to the chair and then walk your feet in just a little bit closer. Maybe keep those elbows nice and soft. Shift weight into that right leg and just kind of hike up your left hip. So you're like kind of pulling it up a little bit and then grounding that left foot down. Same thing, switch to the other side. Hike up your right hip and then lower it down. Just try that one more time on each side. Just kind of hike up the hip, lift the foot, and then lower, and then on the other side. Good. And then just to give our wrists a little bit of a break, we're going to move the feet back into that down dog stretch. So step the feet back, maybe widen the gait of your legs, so move them apart from each other, away from your midline, and just allow the head to fold, if you like, between the arms, if that's supportive. If not, keep the head lifted, the gaze fixed at the back seat of the chair, especially if you're feeling pressure in the head today. And then if it feels right for you, maybe you just kind of shift your weight right to left, wag your tail, just sensing that whole side body, front, back body stretching here. I really like this stretch because it gets kind of like the whole body stretched out all at once. Maybe nod your head yes or shake it no, especially if you're holding a lot of tension still in the neck. And then we're gonna just gently walk those feet back in once more. Just come to that half lift position here where your feet are underneath your hips, your spine is elongated, your hands are supported on the chair. We're bringing those shoulders back. And then grounding into that right foot, we can bend the left knee, so kick the heel toward the buttocks, and then we're going to open up that knee out to the side. Hydrant pose, and then lower it down. And then we might just try that a few times. And if you want to challenge yourself today and you feel ready, and you can try it with the leg extended as well instead of bent. But if that doesn't support you, keep the leg bent, and that's a little more easier for the hip. Breathing in and breathing out. Whew, just lifting it up where the body is able to lift it without forcing. One more, inhale, exhale. This time we're going to inhale, lift it and hold it. Beautiful. And then maybe grounding into that left palm a little bit more, sensing a little bit of counterbalance. If you want, try to float your right hand. If that doesn't feel safe, keep it on the chair. And then let's lower the hand, lower the leg. Beautiful. And let's just bring ourselves up to standing for a moment. Shake it out. Let the blood come back down a little bit. All right, we'll do that on the other side as well before we go into our favorite part of class. I know it's everyone's favorite part, but we got to do a little work before we get there. It will feel all the more sweeter. All right, hands to the chair. And then again, grounding into that opposite side, that opposite leg, which I think is your left leg this time. And then you can bend your right knee. You can kick the heel toward the buttocks, and then lift the inner thigh, lift the knee out toward the side, and lower it back down. And just do that a few times with your breath. And again, you might play with what does it feel like to do this with the leg extended. But again, if that doesn't feel right for that hip, for that leg today, keep the knee bent. And as you're doing this, make sure the shoulders are hugging back, the scapula is squeezing in toward the spine, the navel center is kind of drawing in, the spine is working towards remaining in its natural curves, natural length, extending, breathing. Your breath is the fuel for that movement, so keep breathing. Give yourself some fuel. And then we're going to lift and hold it out. And again, if you want to test your balance, grounding into that right palm, maybe floating the left arm out to the side, hovering. Take a nice deep breath in, and exhale, lower it all down. Nice work. And then bring yourself upright. Just take a moment, shake it out. Shake it out if you like. Shake out those hips, shake out those shoulders, shake out that torso. Beautiful. All right, so we are going to get set up for relaxation, and you can take relaxation again sitting in your chair if you like. You can make your way down onto your back. You can swing your legs up onto the chair if you like, or just be on your backs, completely supported by any props that you brought with you today. So however you want to be there, and if you would like me to bring the chair closer to you, you can just raise your hand and I can help support you getting that chair underneath your legs. But just take a moment to settle into wherever you want to be for relaxation. Whether that's lying down or sitting upright. And truly giving yourself permission to be, to rest, to set all the working, the efforting aside. And close the eyes down if you're comfortable closing the eyes, or just once more settle your gaze, your drizzy in one spot, eyes unmoving, nice soft focus. They say it takes the body at least 2 minutes to even relax. So just these first 2 minutes is about permitting yourself to relax, to maybe micro moving the body in any way as you notice your body becoming more free of tension, of holding, making adjustments to accommodate that space that you've created inside. And perhaps turning your attention to your breath, just watching the natural breath as it is, move in and out. Perhaps using breath in that mantra as you inhale, inhale in peace. And as you exhale, just sensing yourself bathed in peace. Perhaps on the next few breaths as you inhale, inhaling in that sense of unconditional love. And exhaling, sensing yourself being bathed in that unconditional love. Perhaps the next few breaths, breathing into that idea of unity, of yoga, yoking together all aspects of yourself in harmony. Breathing in that sense of unity, exhaling, bathing in that sense of union. Continuing to move deeper into a more relaxed state, perhaps just noticing the areas of your body in contact, the supports that hold you, and allowing those surface areas to be held, to embrace those supports completely. Perhaps just for this moment, setting aside all fear. Perhaps just for this moment, setting aside all worry. Perhaps just for this moment, setting aside all anger. And just for this moment, letting yourself be open to that peace, that love and union. And perhaps the more still we become, nature starts to kind of move in around us or make itself known. So just as we become still, noticing the nature of the mind inside, and allowing yourself to simply just hold space for whatever is present. Letting learning to mother all aspects of ourselves as we would for the very children that we unconditionally love. And continue to bring attention to the breath with each breath, perhaps inviting a deeper inhalation, a fuller exhalation. Continue to invite in that idea of breathing in that sense of peace, love, and unity. And just ever so gently, when you sense readiness, you might decide you want to remain in this stillness a bit longer. But if you sense readiness in connection with your breath, perhaps just wiggle the fingers or toes or gently roll your head side to side. So slowly, without a rush, begin to wake back up into that body. And sensing it kind of new again, beginning again from this place. Constantly growing, constantly changing. Always asking us to be learning, to be patient. Maybe if you're in a supported place, you can bring the arms up overhead. Just give the arms a stretch wherever they want to reach. And then exhaling, bringing them back down by your side. Maybe taking one knee in toward the chest for a moment. If you're on your back, and just kind of squeezing it in. Just doing any movements that kind of support that. Maybe rolling out the ankle, do the other side. And if you're on your back, we'll just take a moment to roll to one side when you're ready to bring ourselves back upright. If you're sitting in a chair, for those of you at home, then you can bring ourselves all the way up to standing, nice and slow when we're ready to get there. And we're going to end today with just some balancing. So we're going to eventually end up coming behind our chairs or to the side of our chairs. So maybe standing with your chair to one side of you. So you can use that hand that's closest to the chair as just a support. And we'll just take a moment to get there. Sip some water. Yeah, I know. It's like slumber, after the slumber party, everything's like everywhere. All right, we'll just take a moment to ground into both feet. The arm that is furthest from the chair is going to sweep up by the ear, and then just take a moment to stretch up and over toward the chair. So send that hip away from the chair, reaching up and over toward the chair. Inhale, bring yourself back up, and exhale, let the arm come down and maybe land on your hip. And then we're going to ground into the leg that's closest to the chair and maybe just float the right or the opposite, the outside leg. You might just take a moment with the leg lifted and just kind of sense from inside the hip socket, rotating it in and out. And then if we like, we can keep it turned out. If that doesn't serve you, you can always just keep it parallel, land the ball mound of the foot on the ground. The heel can remain lifted. We can also try to bring the foot to the inner shin or higher if that's ready for us. And then you might try releasing one arm. You might try bringing both arms up, or you always have that chair there as a little kickstand or training wheels. And sometimes, even if we've graduated to no training wheels, sometimes we need to go back because every day our balance is changing. Claudette's ready to do a cartwheel right in front of us. It's not cartwheels yet. Going downhill. Woo! All right, so let's just try to hold for another breath or two. Try to grow tall into that trochanter side of that standing leg. Take a nice deep breath in. And exhale as we release, and just shake it out. Now, whichever you feel is best for you, you can either turn yourself around or just take the chair onto the other side. That was done with a statement. You're going to take the chair to the other side. You're going to go there. It felt good. So again, the arm outside of the chair is going to sweep up overhead, reach up and over toward the chair. And perhaps that feels good because that was our standing leg. We're just kind of getting into that hip that worked up a lot of heat in that Vrksasana, tree pose. So let's bring ourselves back up and exhale, relax. And again, grounding into that standing leg without sinking into the hip. So we're shifting our way up and over, but keeping lifted, keeping tall. And again, we might just take a moment floating that outside leg. And you might just kind of rotate it in and out a few times. Again, we're getting the oil into that, the joints there. Get the oil can ready. And then when you're ready, again, the ball mound can come down. You can also bring the foot to the inner shin. You can open up the hip depending on what serves you. And then if you like, you can try bringing one arm up, both arms. Some people try palms to heart center. Again, there's many things you can do with the arms, so just do what works for you best. Try to set your gaze in one spot so that can help you balance. And just find some deep breaths. If you fall out, maybe try a cartwheel as you fall down. Imagine a cartwheel. And just take a few more breaths here. Root down, grow tall. Inhale and exhale as we relax. Good. Ground, walk out both feet. So we're going to inhale and open up those arms nice and wide. Maybe lift our gaze, lift our hearts. Exhale, wrap those arms, noting which elbows on top, chin to chest, heavy head. Take a deep breath in. You exhale, can kind of hum it out. Inhale as you open those arms nice and wide. Once more, open your chest, root down into those feet. Maybe engage your buttocks, send the pelvis forward, open the heart. So you're moving into just a gentle back bend. And then exhale as we take the opposite elbow on top, chin to chest. Take a moment, just breathe, thanking yourself for this time. Take a nice deep breath in. You can hum it out. It's one of the adaptations. Instead of big exhalations or ohms in enclosed spaces, we're going to try to avoid that to not spread. So we'll practice our our satisfactory So we're going to take a deep breath together. Inhale. It just feels good anyways. So lovely to see you, ladies. Namaste. Thank you.